Let's get this baby cooking.
I beg your pardon?
Don't cook babies, man.
Yeah, that's not what the oven is for.
It's round a pond.
Oh, delicious children.
I'm worried now, Russell. I don't think I can come over to your home ever again.
Do you know that chicken that I served you?
No, it was delicious.
It was delicious, I know.
Tastes like babies.
Chicken tastes like it.
What's up, everyone? 3 Times Faster, episode 22. We've got our guest here, Russ from PTCG Radio. Say hello, Ross.
Hey.
Hey. And we've got Max from
Hello.
Fame of Cardfight Central. If we actually get to do that again, whatever.
One day.
Ross, how have you been? You've been going to lots and lots of nationals and commentating. How did that make you feel?
It's been pretty good. I went to Denmark, Danish Nationals. That was a bit kind of just an off the cuff. The tournament organizer from Denmark just sent me a random Facebook message being like, hey, do you want to come to Denmark and commentate Nationals? Mm-hmm. I was like, a little bit weird, but why not?
You
Let's
had
give
me
it a
at
go.
Denmark.
Well, essentially, I was like, that sounds like the kind of thing I should probably be saying no to. And I checked the dates, and it was in half term, or like the end of half term.
Yeah.
And I was like, don't need to take any days off work, I'm in. And I told my girlfriend, and she was just like, you're not actually going to go to Denmark, are you? I was like, well, why wouldn't I go to Denmark?
It's free.
And then I did some official Pokemon stuff as well. I went over to German Nationals, Italian Nationals, where I commentated trading card game and Pokken tournament. Mm-hmm. And then I went off to DreamHack in Sweden to commentate Pokken tournament there as well.
Very generous. Sorry, fairly jealous, not generous. Very jealous of you.
They're being generous.
They're being generous. You're taking my job, if anything.
Well, I had this weird run where in 5 weeks, one of them was the UK, but I spent 5 weekends, each one in a different country.
Yeah.
And now it's all over, and I'm just a little bit sad.
Now you've lived the high life. You're just back to your normal peasant self.
But
it's upsetting.
He's come back at a good time. Now you can play Pokemon Go.
Now I can sit and stare at the screen while it tells me the servers are down.
Well, I'm back on now, so yeah.
Yeah, what's your experiences of Pokemon Go? Like, I've not really been able to do much with it, and I have to say it's a little bit boring sometimes. Even when you have a lore on and you've got like Pokemon commentary, you're just like, that's it. So I don't know if there's anything else to it at the moment. Is my current feelings.
Other than gyms and stuff.
Don't get me wrong, I'm probably going to spend, a good couple of hundred just to buy Pokeballs to have all the Pokemon, but...
Well, here's the thing. I think it's going to be wait a few gens before everyone gets involved. I think it's going to be like Gen 3 or 4 before you've got everyone kind of in on it. Yeah.
So the server's coming down. It's really obvious as to why the symptom of that is happening. It's because they've gone... Guys, guess what? Gen 1. And all the Gen 1ers have gone, yay, Gen 1, let's all go. Because of all, people our age have gone, yep, we know about that. And, if, people that wouldn't necessarily be interested in Pokemon have gone, oh, I know about Pokemon. There's a Geodude and a Machamp. Let's do it. And that seems to be the problem. It's just, it's overload. They've, oversaturated everything, basically.
Well, my theory is that the servers were ready. They're rolling it out around the world. They're not actually putting it everywhere. And I think they're a couple of countries. See how the servers hold up. Couple more countries. See how the servers hold up. But everyone's just gone, right, it's 2016. We all know how to get it, even when it's not been released in our country.
Yeah.
And Pokemon are just like, for goodness sake, this is why we're rolling it out rather than putting it everywhere at once. And the servers are just like, no, just can't cope.
Oh yeah, that is blatantly obvious. But then again, it's their own misfortune of not look and foresight. It's like, hang on, most of the people that we're pandering to are in their 20s and have a mobile phone.
Oh no!
And do video games. Maybe some of them look at the news or websites or do something and know someone that could
have
get
access to Facebook.
Do some sort of hack or something.
Facebook 2
and they've
days
not,
ago,
they've
posting
not
links here's the APK, here's how to get the Australian Apple iTunes store. It's like...
Yeah, it was so easy, and they just didn't really think about it. I think that's the grand scheme of it, is they didn't really think
Is
how
it true the Pokemon
powerful...
site's been going down as well, because people have been going on there?
Yeah,
because
the Club Pokemon site was down when I've had to sign up with Google using my Google ID because my Pokemon Trainer account wasn't working.
Oh.
Because I think there's too many people trying to sign up for it. I mean, it's a bit of a pain, but I can't have many complaints because it's just another free Pokemon game. So I'm all in.
Wait till Gen 4 comes out and it's like, oh, now I've got to catch all these Mamoswines.
Oh, dude, when Gen 4 comes out, Mamoswines, I'm done. If you tell me I need to catch 100 Swinubs to equal a Mamoswine, that's fine. Stay up all night wandering around somewhere cold finding my Swinubs.
To Canada.
I've always wanted to go Canada. That's what it takes.
And now's the perfect time.
Well, see, I think a Pokemon Go is going to be really good because I'm going to go see my girlfriend and be like, hey, hon, do you want to go on a long romantic walk?
Hey, there's a Rattata behind you. Let me just catch that. There you go.
And she'll be like, oh, you never want to go for these long walks on the beach. I'm like, no, I want to spend time with you, darling. I want to go on a long walk on the beach.
Horsey. Catch that horsey.
No, I don't know if you can yet, but I haven't figured out how to play music through my phone while having Pokemon Go up. That's what I need to do. I need to get that rolling. It's probably not even difficult. Because for the first 10 minutes, I'm wandering around. I'm wandering around in the real world looking for Pokemon with Pokemon music in my headphones, and it felt like I was in the game. And then after 10 minutes, I was like, this music is still looping, and it's not good for me.
Yeah, you can actually just turn it off.
Was it
quite easily.
Ron just on loop or what?
I can't know that.
It's just really loud and blatant, and it's awful, that music, especially when you have earphones in.
No. The music is beautiful.
No, it's okay, but then again, you can't really listen. It's too loud. You can't do much about it. You can turn it down a little bit, but then it just takes everything away that you listened to beforehand.
I want to go on long walks and have the music changing every time I walk a particular distance, just like in the games. That would be cool. Also, I've realised there is no way to not look like a crazy person. I literally stopped in the middle of Tesco, directly in front of some dude, pointed my phone basically directly at him and caught a Pidgey. And he looked at me like I was a mental or was trying to photograph him.
This is why I've turned the AR off.
Yeah, I had to do that.
Slightly less.
Wait, you can turn the AR off and still catch Pokemon?
Yeah.
But your way's more fun because it makes you look crazy. Like mine, I was just started turning to the road and then just started doing stuff on the road. And then I'll just carry on walking and then stop and then look at a tree and just start flicking my phone at a tree. I must have looked insane.
But this is what's going to kill so many of our generation. There's going to be a birth crisis in about 10 years' time. Because all the guys are going to have been killed on the road playing Pokemon Go. And there's going to be a whole bunch of women who cannot find a suitable husband because all the nerdy 20-year-old men have been killed on the road.
Have died or are actually integrated into their phone completely and therefore would have no interest because they have all the Pokemon on their mobile phone.
I can't... the first time someone dies from Pokemon Go is going to be such a huge news story.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to
be like, child dies from Pokemon, dun dun dun!
There has been a news story about a child that got robbed of his phone because of Pokemon Go, because obviously he was walking around in a bad neighbourhood, around, with his new phone. So that's pretty sad.
I don't think that was just to do with Pokemon, I think that was just in general. That would probably
it's because you had it out.
Okay.
You're advertising it.
All we need is Google glasses for Pokemon.
Well, because no one would try and steal Google glasses.
Well, obviously they wouldn't be specifically Google glasses, but instead of just having your phone out all the time, need a what's the word? A scanner on your right eye.
A scouter is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, a scouter. That's it.
No, we do not need scouters. That's something we definitely don't need in the future.
Definitely need scouters.
No.
Not for Pokemon, just in general.
See, I don't know what it is, but there is on the Nintendo store, you can buy a Pokemon Go something for 35 quid. I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy it.
It is a vibrator.
And what does it do?
If there's a Pokemon nearby, it will vibrate, and you can press it, and it'll throw a Pokeball for you.
That's it?
That's it. So you don't have to get your watch, your phone out, and then...
I'm still almost certainly going to buy one, but...
Oh, yeah, well, it's basically the new yokai watch. You just have that and just like slam it constantly. Like, done.
Well, put it this way, I've got 9 days till I officially move in with my girlfriend and our finances get merged and I have to start being a sensible grown-up. So I've basically got 9 days to spend as much as I can on useless rubbish. And she'll never know.
She'll never
There's no
know.
way she ever watches this.
Oh, there's definitely no way she's watching 3 times faster.
No. She's never... Like, I go off to these streams and I'm like, hey, hun, Pokemon are sending me to Italy to stream Pokemon. This is like my dream. She's like, oh... And she'll tune in for the first 2 minutes of the stream and go, hey, he's on stream. And then it will cut to either Pokken tournament or the trading card game. And she's like, the second he goes off screen, I'm out.
Wow.
So she watches like the first 2 minutes and it's like,
Dedication.
right, I've done my duty. I have watched him on stream. I'm out.
It's just the gentle pat on the back, like, well done. And then she just fucks off. Doesn't care after that.
Yes.
So, what do you guys think about the Brexit, where all the leaders have basically quit that initiated the Brexit?
I think that's hilarious. Well, we got what we wanted. Now what do we do?
All
Here's my
quit?
thing about the Brexit.
Yes.
Like, I reckon, and this might make me sound vain, I apologise if it does, but I think I'm in a bit of a position where I can actually comment on Brexit. Because for the last 12 years, I've either been studying or teaching law and business. So I've done a heck of a lot of reading on the European Union. And I consider myself just well-informed enough to give an opinion.
This guy sounds like he's got facts, and we, at 3 times faster, don't believe in facts.
Oh, no,
As we know.
it's going to be mostly
hell with
hearsay.
that.
Okay, carry on, Ross. Carry on, Ross. We're just having a joke.
So it's sitting there, and it's like, we shouldn't even be having a referendum. The idea of having a referendum is stupid, because as a country, we don't understand enough to make a decision. The good news is we have voted for people specifically for this reason, to make our decisions.
Yes.
And then we didn't. And the two claims, and don't get me wrong, there were reasons to vote out, and there were millions of people who voted out for good reasons. But there were also millions of people who voted out because we can control our borders. Anyone that knows anything about the European Union knows that's a lie. Because if we don't trade with the EU, our economy just crashes and burns and we're all living in dirt. So we
As we already are, as it's shown to be.
It's happening.
Yeah.
So we have to trade with the European Union, and if we're going to trade with them, we have to accept free movement of workers. So there goes that. And the other claim was, and the Leave people have already come out and been like, yeah, that's not true. The other claim was, yeah, we're going to save £350 million a week. Now, the vote was confirmed at about 9 a.m. And at about 9 a.m., Nigel Farage came out and was like, that's not actually true. We're not actually going to spend $350 million on the NHS. We never said that. Cue lots of people showing pictures of buses with
Yeah.
that exact thing blazoned on the side. And again, anyone that knew anything about the EU could have told you that's not true. But unfortunately, most of the people... And I've heard so many people who have told me like, oh, well, I didn't think we were actually going to leave.
I've heard this too.
I was just doing a protest vote. I didn't think we were actually going to leave. And it's just like, how stupid are you?
A protest vote is to spoil your ballad, if anything. That's a protest vote. It's not to make actual decisions.
Favourite protest vote ever. In the general election, there was a story about a guy who drew a phallus in the box instead of a tick.
And that counts.
But because he kept it entirely in the box, it counted as a vote for that candidate.
Wow.
Which
Brilliant.
I thought was spectacular.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
But the whole Brexit thing's just stupid. Essentially, it could work out for the best. This could turn out to be the best thing that ever happened to our country. But in the short term, it's going to knock us into a recession. It's going to be a disaster. And about the whole people quitting, if the person leading the charge has quit, the Prime Minister has quit, the leader of the party calling for the Brexit has quit, and the person who kind of led the charge was like, hang on a second, I'm not interested in this anymore. Everyone that told us to vote out has now run away, not unlike some of the harder to catch Pokemon on Pokemon Go, and left us to deal with the mess. Brilliant. Cheers for that, mate.
I know, true leaders, if I could ever think of the word for true leaders, is Nigel Farage and Boris and Cameron.
The ship is sinking, you better leave.
Exactly. It's so frustrating. And so the only one that's like they're still calling to resign. It's Corbyn, and Corbyn's like, no, I'm going to stay because this is what you need to do. In hardship, you must lead and try and help, not just run away.
But there's a reason for that, right? Here's my theory. Labour were essentially unelectable. Okay. They lost all their ground in Scotland to the SNP.
Yeah.
And the whole redrawing constituency lines that Conservatives wanted to do to shore up some of their seats, they were blocked in the coalition by Lib Dem. Lib Dems go away. They can redraw constituency lines. Labour have lost Scotland to the SNP. And essentially we are doomed to a few decades of inevitable Conservative rule. The only thing that could stop that was a monumental screw-up that almost destroyed the country. Cue the EU referendum. Then you have all these high-up people in Labour going, holy cow, we actually might win an election in the next 20 years. Oh, we're kind of being led by Corbyn. Okay. But they're never going to get elected anyway. So now they're like, and they're scrambling to find a competent leader just in case they're going to actually be elected now.
We're scrambling to find a leader in general for the country.
Oh, it's been announced. There's a couple of ladies who are going for it.
So who wants to pilot this crashing ship?
The good news is, and this will make me very happy, it won't be Gove.
Yeah, Gove. I was really hesitant with Gove being in top 3, but now he's been taken out at least. So
it's Theresa May and Andrea Leadsom. So yeah, it's going to be one of those. I mean, neither of them are great, but neither of them are Gove. So I'm cool. I don't think I could have, as a teacher, I don't think I could have coped seeing Gove in any more power than he was. An education secretary so bad, he got removed from education secretary. They literally got rid of him and moved him to a different post because he was so reviled by the entire industry.
Wow, your hatred of Gove is huge and legendary at this point.
I don't let my students swear in lessons. I am very big on that. But I made an exception when they were talking about Michael Gove.
Okay. Fair enough, then.
Sorry, I'm looking at Pokémon Go stuff.
We're talking about the Brexit. Very important. I thought we would be talking about a lot more Pokemon, but Ross went... I wasn't expecting this, but Ross went...
Oh, no, here's my thought. Now Pokemon Go's out. If you start putting legendaries at the voting office, do you reckon this will have a bigger turnout at votes?
I vote for Zapdos.
Right, we want me to bring it back round. My local comic store has announced today they've got to raise the price of Pokemon trading card game booster packs because the distributor has raised their price because of the crashing demolition of the pound's value.
That's what we've had that message
with our local as well, so
fairly standard. Good job. Voting Go has now cost us money for Pokemon cards.
The bizarre thing is, on
it always
Pokemon
hits
Go,
the nerds first. It always does.
Because we import loads of stuff. Yeah. On Pokemon Go, the prices for the Pokecoins at the moment is still pre-Brexit conversion rates, which is really interesting.
Quick, buy your Pokegold now!
Buy them now! Before they're all gone. So I just saw a funny picture of someone threw their phone to catch Pokemon. That's
what I would do. So, the current candidates, May and who's the other one? Leadsom. Have you ever heard of them before? I'm quite new to conservative politics, so these are people I'm just like, who? Where'd they come from?
I mean, Theresa May's a Home Secretary. I don't know if she's going to make a good Prime Minister. To be fair, I'll give her a due. She's been an all right Home Secretary. Andrea Leadsom, all I've seen is a horrific video of her basically being incredibly offensive about a whole range of topics, from fox hunting downwards, so...
Awesome! She gets my vote!
I mean, the good news is I don't have to... I mean, Theresa May got 199 votes. Andrea Leadsom got 84 and Gove got 46. So it looks like Theresa May's the favourite, which, given that she's been a visible Home Secretary and nobody's ever heard of Leadsom, probably means Theresa May's going to get it.
Yeah, I can imagine so as well.
I just really wish we could get over the whole, we're going to have a woman Prime Minister. Yeah, we had one in the 70s. Can we not just focus on having a new Prime Minister? Do we have to bring gender into it? It doesn't matter anymore.
We've done it.
We
Happened
voted
in the
for a
70s.
person.
Yeah.
They happen to be... Nobody cares.
Yeah,
Are
exactly.
they any good at the job?
Well, the only person who really cares is Hillary Clinton, because that's her pedestal that she's going on at the moment, is that she can be the first female president.
Well, the far bigger problem is we could have the first active criminal president. Have you not heard this?
Oh no, Hillary's just been like, they've like dropped charges against Hillary now. The FBI.
Yeah, but the FBI director came out and he was like,
Yeah.
here's a whole bunch of laws she's broken, but we don't care because she's rich. Oh, cool.
Sounds about normal.
Well, it's more, we don't care because I'm going to get a promotion. All right.
Well, I don't care because my new Lamborghini says so.
Exactly. Exactly. But now the dreams have been tattered for our Trump, Boris Johnson, Atlantic Federation partnership. It's gone now, Ross. For 2 weeks I've been promoting that and it's failed. It's failed now.
We're going to have the best hair matchup ever.
Yeah.
Well, now we're going to have
wacky hair would have been back. I could have been cool again if I had my wacky hair. But no.
Oh, come on, we're going to get Theresa May and Hillary Clinton, who are clearly never going to talk to each other because who cares about Britain post-Brexit?
Exactly.
Not that I'm upset about this.
Only people who live in England. Because everyone else voted to stay in.
See, but Obama came out before the referendum and he was like, look, no offence, guys. I love Britain. We've got a special relationship. We're going to keep ties with Britain. But our focus is clearly going to be on a trade deal with 27 other countries rather than you guys.
Yeah.
But the problem is, how many people voting no actually knew that? Several million. But the problem is, that's not enough.
It afterwards, didn't they?
Oh, my favourite story about the Brexit is a Washington Post article. I might have read quite a lot about Brexit in the last few weeks. The Washington Post had an article. The second most Googled question in the UK containing the words EU the day after the referendum.
Yeah, what is it?
What is the EU?
Great.
We voted out, and then we tried to figure out what we voted out of.
What did we leave?
What is the EU, in essence?
What is that EU they keep talking about on the news?
It's like someone invites you to a gig, and you're like, I don't want to go to no gig. And then you try and listen to the music like the week after and decide you like the music, and you kind of wish you'd gone to the gig, but it's too late because the band's broken up and are never coming back.
Because no one bought tickets. Exactly. I like that analogy, Ross.
Been stewing over the Brexit for far too long.
It sounds like you've needed to get something off your chest about it, to be honest.
I mean, this is essentially anyone who comes near me and says the word Brexit, I'm like, right, here we go.
Let me just shovel in some stuff I've been waiting to say.
I
down
think
your throat.
I will tell you one more angry Brexit story.
Okay.
And that is the particular area of Cornwall I'm moving to next week. It doesn't have fibre internet. Doesn't have fibre broadband. Superfast broadband doesn't have it.
Holy shit. What are you doing? You're going back to the Stone Age there, right?
Yeah, the dark times.
The problem is, it is planned for future implementation.
Great.
Guess where all of the money for improving the internet infrastructure in Cornwall is coming from?
Not England.
Some sort of EU.
All coming from an EU hardship fund.
Yay!
There was only one area of Cornwall that did not vote a majority Brexit, despite the fact that Cornwall is an impoverished region of the UK and they get so much money from the EU. They get tens of millions every year from the EU. Mm-hmm. Good work, Cornwall. Good job. Okay, don't say Brexit again.
Okay.
What about Texit?
Is this actually coming through, Max, or is this just your sick fantasy?
Everyone else can leave.
Is this your sick fantasy, or do you actually
This is something
news?
that's actually I've heard about in the news that it might happen.
Who?
The actual news, Texas leaving the United States.
I assume that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Texas, if they can leave. Because Texas, looked down upon quite a lot.
I've known some Texan guys in the past. I've heard rumours. There was a Texan dude used to live down the road from my gran, and she was like, don't call him American. He will correct you every single time.
And so, therefore, I'm going to call this man American. or yank.
So what are you?
to really dig it in, just this Yankee. So, as we talk about scandals before, there's a big one that's been brewing on the YouTubes.
How scandalous.
Scandalous. So, Pro Syndicate, also known as Project Syndicate, or Syndicate Project, you might have known about this guy. We've mentioned him on the show a few times. No? Okay, he's big. He's got nearly 10 million subscribers. And T Martin... Oh, no. So...
He's only got a few more than us.
Yeah, I know. It's only a few more, isn't it? And...
to the power of 10.
T Martin as well, who used to do Call of Duty videos. He's got like 1 million plus, maybe 2 million subscribers. Quite a few. So anyway, they were showing off this really cool website called CSGO Lotto. Do you guys know what CSGO is? Counter-Strike's.
I am aware of CSGO.
Is it like augmented reality Counter-Strike?
Okay, yeah, exactly like that, but with weapon skins. And so these weapon skins, you can be used to get money. And so, lottery, so basically gambling your skins to win more skins to therefore sell on and get better skins, whatever. Turns out, after a few months of them plugging this site and they're showing them winning, they actually own the site, these two. And now it's become very suspicious of, did they actually do this correctly? It's kind of weird how you own the site and you're plugging the site.
There's nothing suspicious about it. It's
Yeah.
literally blatant.
So everybody sends them their skins, and then they get lots of new skins. That's essentially what the website was.
Yes.
Send us your skins.
They were
and we will
advertising. Yeah, they were advertising it as like a general
a gambling
site, but nobody knew they owned it. They just assumed they were plugging it.
It's like if you were the owner of Lambrooks and you went, "Hey, I'm gambling at Lambrooks.
Cool.
I just won some money at Lambrooks." And just like, you're the owner of Lambrooks. Doesn't this seem just a bit weird that you're advertising this way? And it was all hush hush, like they didn't actually own this. Like they never revealed that they owned it. They actually went the opposite way of just like,
We found this site.
Yeah, I found this site. We've been offered a sponsorship from this website. Just like, oh, okay, yeah. You own it. You're the CEO. Stop lying.
It's in no way suspicious.
Yeah, exactly. So they've just been shat on for like the last couple
They've been
of
doing
days.
a lot of damage control.
Yeah.
How many subscribers have they lost?
I don't know. It could be 1 million quite easily.
There's probably a YouTube channel live now going like, losing subscribers live. Da, 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 da. They do that all the time now, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was because there were those other dudes.
Fine Brothers.
Yeah, who then tried to trademark like a really commonly used phrase, and their subscriber count just went, you suck. And then they all came out like, we're really sorry, please don't leave us.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about YouTube is like people can vote with the fingers and just go,
Yeah.
Oh, you're being a bit of a scumbag, and we've worked out that you are actually a bit of a scumbag. Well, no one's going to touch you again. And this is the thing. You've got to be, when you're actually trying to do stuff, you've got to be open with your audience. You know, as to say what you're actually trying to do.
Or just follow the law.
or just that, especially when you're. So the problem with the CS:GO skins thing as well is because that has some monetary value to it. It could be considered actual gambling, because and now it was aimed at teens, so like 13 to 15 is like a main age that would play CS:GO. And that's illegal to gamble below 18 in America.
Well, also, you would need a license in order to run such a website if it involved gambling. It sounds like they might just have been stealing.
It's possible. Well,
at the minimum, some kind of fraud.
Well, that's what people have been saying, is because they own the site, they probably have access to all the admin stuff. So it's very possible that all the recordings they've had is just all backdoor stuff saying, "Oh, look, maybe I'll win. Oh, look, I won." How unexpected. So other people have been other players have got videos of them winning against their accounts, and now that it's come out that they own the site, it's like, this is kind of suspicious. I might sue you because what I bid is worth actual money, and therefore there is a monetary value, and therefore is illegal. Because it's not outright bet. Because that's the way. It's like a loophole. Because it's not gambling money. It's not gambling or something. Some stupid loophole like that.
I don't know. It's not something I'm terribly familiar with, but it's the internet. The internet brings out the best and the worst in people.
I've learned a lot of things being on the internet, I'll tell you that one.
Lots of cringe on the internet is what I'm noticing.
I've learned more about politics on the internet than any day in school.
Yeah.
I've learned more from Ross Gilbert being here, telling me politics, and I've heard on the BBC News. When I click on BBC News, they're like, Wales are in the European semi-finals. Let's start interviewing a load of kids and people from Wales. Like, this is not... We don't care. Who cares about this?
What's your favourite card?
I'm still trying to find a way I can quit my job and just make a living with the internet. It's not going great at the moment.
Pokemon Go Lotto. Put up your Ghastlies.
Max, stop stealing up the giving him ideas. These are ours. What have I told you about this before?
I think I need to start streaming on Twitch, but apparently I'm moving to a part of the country that has no internet, so...
Enjoy trying to stream.
We can do it, Russell. We can make Pokemon Go Lotto. Let's go. He doesn't have power.
Next week, guys, Pokemon Go Lotto. I've got the
website. Pull your shiny Ghastlies and you could win shiny Gengars, maybe.
Are they doing shiny Pokemon on Pokemon Go? I'm assuming they're not.
I pray to God, no.
I don't think so.
Because you know if they do, there's going to be people out there that get all 150.
I could not imagine people getting one, considering how hard it is to get a shiny in there. Was like
just generally trying to find a Pokemon is kind of hard sometimes. It feels like if you've not got a lure attached, you just could walk. I've walked like a kilometre and not
unless
found
it's a
anything.
Rattata or a Pidgey.
Oh yeah.
And then it's cases like, just get out. Get out.
Well, at least you can have Pidgeots. Like, everyone's going to have a Pidgeot, like level 100
I had
Pidgeot.
an Omanyte near me and I could not find it for love or money. And I'm like, why the hell is there an Omanyte near me?
Yeah. I'm hoping that you do click the button and it shows you roughly where they are. Because otherwise it's just kind of like, oh, there was an Oddish. And I'm like, oh man, I want an Oddish. I didn't know where the Oddish was. Yeah. And I wanted the Oddish.
Yeah, so one step is like, it's in your immediate vicinity. 2 is like, it's sort of nearby. 3, it's sort of really further away. But it doesn't tell you in which direction, so you're just like, it could be anywhere around me. I'm just going to have to walk and hope it stays there, awkwardly.
See, I was telling Max before we went on the air, it's like everybody thinks Pokemon Go is going to make them all healthy and like in shape. But all I did today was go, oh man, Pokemon Go, I need to walk somewhere. And I just walked to Tesco and bought cookies.
That's not going to get me in shape. That's a way to do it. Is your Tesco also a Pokestop?
It's not, unfortunately.
Oh, that would be the perfect thing for you.
There was a Pidgey hanging out by the Diet Coke, so...
That's the best place to hang out.
Is that not trying to, what's the word, advertise for Coke? Pokemon advertises Coke in that sense.
No, because I'd like to think they'd get someone better and be like, hey, come to the Coke aisle and you might catch a Dragonite.
Oh, shit.
Everyone's going to charge over for trying to buy some Coke.
See, the problem is, like, if I heard that, like, on Saturday you could get a Mammothswine in Manchester, I would genuinely drive to Manchester on Saturday to catch Mammothswine. Like, as sad as I would happily take, like, a 6-7 hour round trip to catch a Mammothswine on Pokemon Go.
I think that's going to be the big problem is that they're just going to go, and today in this centre we've got this legendary, and everyone's just going to go, and just start charging over there as fast as possible. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I know, it's going to happen.
But then what happens
when together?
What happens when I'm living in Cornwall? I mean, maybe
you're close to the sea. You can catch water guys.
I mean, maybe there will be... I like to think when I go chilling on the beach, there will be water Pokemon. That would make me so happy. Mm-hmm. But I don't think there's going to be like, hey, Mewtwo's hanging out in Cambourne. I'm not loving my chances.
Where is Cambourne? Where are you referring to?
Cambourne is, let's say, the less desirable part of Cornwall.
Oh, okay.
See, I want to know what they're going to do with like the birds and stuff. Because that's the one I can't figure out. If it's just going to be like at an event, or if they're going to be in a place.
I think they are literally going to have actual events where they say, come to this shop, and it might be 2 or 3, but come to this. It's going to be landmarks. It's going to be like, come to Nelson's column on this day and you can catch the Pokemon. I'm calling it now.
I saw a post before and I thought it was the best idea. So Nintendo will hold Pokemon Go events at E3 during the other consoles presentations. So like next up it's the Sony present, and like, oh, there's a shiny Mewtwo outside. I'm like, right, gone.
That's brilliant. I didn't even think about that. Well, I was thinking what they were going to do is that, you know, the top percentage of players on
Rattatas.
on each team, because you're going to have your teams, aren't you? You're going to have your teams of Valor, you know, blue, red, blue, yellow. The top one, like the top percentage of every month would get a Moltres if you're red, Articuno if you're blue, Zapdos if you're yellow. That's how I would think they would do it.
The awkward thing is, I assume if you live in a city, you are immediately better off than everyone else.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because you're going to start.
Max, on Saturday, we're running around the city, going to every single Pokestop.
I'm just like, there's like 20 Pokestops just in your bed. It's like, oh yeah, sure, done.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing when I actually like ventured into like parts of where I actually live and I've never been before. I never even knew that existed. There was a park. Like, there's a park here? I've never even known there was a park here, and there's just random
There's some
churches.
people doing some white substance over there. I'll coach shotting them.
Bad news, got mugged. Upside, got 2 Pokeballs and a Pokestop. Good day.
I actually got a lucky egg from one of the Pokestops, so I'm really wanting to know what's in that egg.
Oh, not an egg, not a lucky egg.
Not a lucky egg, an actual egg to be incubated.
I've got loads of eggs. I've got like 4.
You can.
Where'd you get eggs from?
Pokestops.
You have to go to Pokestops.
I need to go. Right, as soon as this finishes, I'm driving up to that church.
They just give you free stuff. That's literally the initiative. Go to the Pokestop, get free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going to have like a daily routine. Most people are going to wake up and go to the gym and have some breakfast. I'm going to wake up and just walk to the 4 nearest Pokestops before I do anything. Like,
no, I'm going to take it out of your book, and I'm actually just going to drive. I think that's far easier. Just wake up and drive to the 4 closest
It looks
ones.
like train stations are all Pokestops. So I might just hop on a train one day and see how far I can get before I have to pay. Let's go. Yeah, and not Pokestops, the gyms, which is better. Let's go. Yeah, take that one.
My train station's a Pokestop.
Mine's a gym because someone took it from me, and I have to reclaim it tomorrow.
Oh, you do
hasn't
that,
had a
buddy.
train station since 1959.
Ooh.
Get you with your modernisation of cars.
Yeah, see, there was a Pokestop like say up the road from me, and when I went to Tesco, I took the long way home from Tesco because it went past the Pokestop. And literally, as I'm like halfway between Tesco and the Pokestop, it crashes and then won't let me log back in.
Yeah, I've noticed sometimes it's crashed. Like I've caught a Pokemon and it's just been like doesn't actually play the animation for it to be caught. It still counts afterwards when log back in, but it's not
it
really
just
enough.
freezes and then you have to close it. That's happened to me many times.
I've had to do that, which is at least thankful that it actually, does capture.
Well, I assume the second that you've actually caught it, that's when it has all the information it needs. It's sent.
It done that a couple of times, but I caught a Squirtle and it did it like the very first one I caught. But then I went and caught another Squirtle and I've only got the one. Is it when you get in, you can have a choice? You can either have a Squirtle or a Charmander or a Bulbasaur, but not all of them.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming you all went for Squirtle.
No, we all went Charmander. Everyone goes with Charmander.
Did you go Venusaur?
I went
Bulbasaur.
Squirtle.
Yes, in your
Squirtle.
face, Russell.
Squirtle was the guy who started blue with.
Well, I started red with Charmander, so...
So basically, Russell, you're the loser. 2 of us went Squirtle, you went Charmander, that makes you a loser.
Yeah, I can feel it now.
I feel I should have gone with Bulbasaur because I feel that's probably the easiest one to find in the game.
We should have gone Bulbasaur, so then we had the triangle going on. It would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I don't think Bulbasaur... I think they're all like the same rarity, to be honest. Just generally, like,
Squirtle's water, so I assume you have to be near a lake.
I'm moving to the place that has 1/3 of Britain's coastline.
Oh, there you go.
You're sorted.
You're going to be like, I've got thousands of Squirtles.
I don't think it's going to be like that though. I think they're just going to be really hard and to generally get those starters.
But then you've got to level them up. Leveling up seems like it's going to take approximately forever.
Oh,
and also the fact
yes.
that there is already an IV kind of system in the game is kind of annoying.
What do you mean?
What's the IV system?
So the CP that Pokemon have.
Mm-hmm.
So early on, like when you're low level, you see CPU like 10 or 12 or something.
Yeah.
But as you level up, you start seeing Pokemon with like 200, 150 CP.
Quite
so basically, the higher base CP they have, the better that Pokemon will overall be.
Oh, I thought it was just because you can see like a ring, sort of like
There is a ring, but it's not the same for everyone.
Oh, is it not? Fair enough.
It is IV system. Where it's like, oh, you've got to find a good base CP guy, and because in the beta, I believe they're saying they've found guys with 3,000 CP.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so the guy's gonna have like the 999 Mewtwo sat on that gym's not budging for a while.
All I know is throwing stuff at it. It's just not everything comes back dead. Just get vaporized.
There's almost no chat. I mean, when I'm at school tomorrow, there is going to be Pokemon in people's classrooms.
Oh yeah.
And quite frankly, I am not barging into a classroom to catch a Pokemon. I don't care if they're in the middle of a lesson.
Everyone
Excuse
down.
me.
There's a Dratini in here.
It's going to be really awkward if it's in like the principal's office. I have to go and be like, oh, yeah, Mr. Principal, I need to talk to you about something important.
But the thing you don't know is he'll secretly have it on his phone under the desk.
And he's like, is it the Weedle, Ross? Because I've already caught it.
Nice. So I actually caught a Pikachu today, just sitting at work. I just had this open, didn't even move. I just left it open all day, and then casually looks over and just like, oh, there's a Pikachu here. Quite rare, apparently Pikachu's. So I was like, yes, my first.
See,
Pikachu.
I don't have my phone open right now, and now I feel really bad because I might be missing the chance.
I've found the best thing I've found is like I've found EVs at the wazoo.
You're
I don't
lucky
know if
because they're quite annoying to get. It seems I can never seem to find one ever.
Well, I'm thinking like, well, they're going to evolve into like 8 things, and I've heard at the moment EVs evolving is random.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's rubbish.
I'm like, so what are they going to do in the future? Have to stand next to a bush to have it evolve into Sylveon or something? I'm like, that's so much. I don't understand like how they're going to. I assume they might do cash shop items or something, for like evolution stones or something. I don't know, because with it being
Just
random.
200 poker coins.
Well, 100 is 78p, so
Maybe it's not too bad.
I would pay 78p for an Umbreon. Just putting that out there.
But at the moment, it's all the cash shop stuff is like just more items, more storage.
Mm-hmm.
Actual real game, nothing that actually. Oh, and lucky eggs, but nothing that actually really impacts gameplay yet.
Talk about getting stuff for free. Max, did you know about Audible.com?
Audible.com. What is this amazing service, Russell? Please tell me more.
We're giving you a 3-month trial at Audible.com where you can get a free audiobook. And audiobooks are the future. You can drive along in your car and listen to them. You know, just put them even on a work type away and get that information. How would you not know about
playing Pokémon Go?
Even whilst playing Pokemon Go. This is perfect. So Pokemon Go, put an audiobook in, you're listening to The Martian, and you're playing Pokemon Go, and getting healthy at the same time. What a combination. So, if you look in the description down below, audible.com, we've got a free one for you. So
For me?
For you and everyone.
Oh, for everyone.
It's everyone.
Okay.
Well, I'm telling about you, Max, because you need to get educated, to be honest. Yeah. You look like a guy that needs to be educated. Ross, not so much, though. He's the bestower of information.
He's the educator.
Yes,
I'm on the audiobooks. I've been listening to audiobooks for a couple of years now. I drive to and from Cornwall. I'm always listening to audiobooks.
What's the most recent audiobook you've been listening to, Ross?
I've just finished Expatriates by Peter Clines. It's the X series, which is about superheroes and zombies. Listen to X Heroes. Just finished Expatriates, and I'm moving on to Excommunication.
Wow. Superheroes and zombies. How much
Superheroes.
How much of a crossover is that? It's like
So
perfect, nearly. For
nothing like
nerds.
Marvel zombies then.
No,
not
Max.
Marvel.
Shut up, Max. No one needs to know about Marvel stuff.
Actually, Marvel Zombies are pretty good. I'm down with Marvel Zombies.
Actually, have you guys heard about what's happening to not Captain America? We already know about Captain America.
Iron
Tony
Man.
Stark. Yes, Iron Man. Have you heard about this, Ross?
I think Tony Stark's turning into a 15-year-old African-American girl.
Yes.
Yes.
He literally turning into one.
I thought they were literally just killing him off and then just like, oh, mysteriously a 15-year-old girl has got all these suits.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Don't spoil too much. I read Iron Man comics. I have a subscription. Max just put a humorous picture in the
I'll
the
look
chat,
at that
which
one
is
later.
How I got distracted. That's amazing. So I do subscribe. So I don't know. Sorry, I'm a massive nerd. So it's not just that I'm trying to be like everything you mentioned. I do that, but it just so happens I do listen to audiobooks and I do subscribe to both International and Invincible Iron Man. And I love Tony Stark as a character, and I don't mind that they're turning a character female or changing the ethnicity. Don't care about that.
It's the fact they're dumping a new character on us.
I
She's
just-
not
I like-
new, but she's been in like 2 issues, something like that.
I like Tony Stark, and it's just like for instance, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah,
They
this is
got
what
an-
everyone's been saying.
Yeah.
comparing it
They
to
got an
Miles.
African-American kid in there, and that was awesome. Because what they did was they were like, hey, so we've got Peter Parker. Over in the Ultimate Universe, we killed Peter Parker. We just so happens there is a new Spider-Man who happens to be black. And I was like, cool. And he's a really good character, and it was a really good book. And it wasn't shoehorned in. It was, we need a new Spider-Man. This dude just happens to be a different ethnicity. I'm down with that. It was awesome. Whereas when like they were like, yeah, so Nick Fury's changed ethnicity. I'm like, why? And they were like,
Because
Although-
Samuel L. Jackson, that's
Samuel L.
why.
Jackson plays him.
And well, yeah, they fixed it by being like, it's all right. We're going to make him played by Sam Jackson. I was like, I'm in. But it's just weird because every so often you'll pick up a comic where like he's white, and it's just it messes with people that he's the same character.
Yeah.
I don't think he is though.
I
They've
thought
actually
it's
changed
Samuel
that where
Jackson
the new
Jr.,
one,
isn't he?
the new one is Nick Fury Jr.
Yeah.
So that old the white Nick Fury is actually Nick Fury Senior. They've
Well,
actually
it used to be
retconned that as
Ultimate
well.
and Regular, and Ultimate Nick Fury was the Afro-Caribbean dude, and the regular Nick Fury was the Caucasian dude. But it's been muddled up. I don't really understand it.
That is the best way to describe comic books at the moment. They are
It's a
very
bit
muddled up.
Muddled up, yeah. Like, I don't really see the point of actually just replacing Tony Stark at the moment as well. Like, we're in Civil
very
War 2.
relevant.
Yeah,
He's a really good character.
and
He's just a really good character. And they can bring in whatever new characters they like. I'm down with it. Gwenpool. They've just... Have either of you guys come across Gwenpool?
Yes.
yes. we
Best
have.
new Marvel comic I have read in years. It is spectacular. I absolutely love it. New characters.
Max has got some words for you right now.
I'll let go. I'll let him talk.
No, feel free to disagree in a moment. I am loving Gwenpool. I'm all over it. But it's getting rid of old characters. And I know it's comics. Nobody
Yeah.
ever stays dead. But I like Tony Stark. He's a good character. He's a complicated character. And I've been reading Iron Man books for like 6 years. And it's just a good character. And I don't like it when they get rid of a character just for the sake of bringing in someone new. Don't care about the gender, the ethnicity, whatever. It's just bring in new cool characters, but not at the expense of characters I like.
Isn't
Not
this
at
literally
least-
the entire Ghostbusters argument?
Exactly. That's like new Ghostbusters. I love the fact there's going to be a new Ghostbusters. I love the fact that they are going, we're going to have female Ghostbusters. The problem is, the original, they went, we will only have men. And some of the Ghostbusters, Bill Murray, were really good. Some of them were a bit rubbish. And now they've gone the other way and gone, we're having new Ghostbusters, but they will only be women. And it's like, why don't you just get a good team of everyone?
Why don't you
Just
just
use
make decent jokes?
The Ultimate Ghostbusters. As a movie. Do you remember Ultimate Ghostbusters, the cartoon?
Yes.
I never paid much attention.
I
The guy in the
do.
wheelchair and all that kind of stuff.
And then there was a girl as well. She was like a
Yeah.
punky girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, why can't we just do that? And it's like the most annoying thing about the new Ghostbusters, it's not that they deliberately made them all women. I'm down with that. They want...
It's
I-
not funny.
They were like, but we must also have a male secretary. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But then, and I've only seen one trailer.
As well.
Yeah, but they made him a really effeminate secretary.
And he's an idiot.
Like,
and he's a huge idiot.
Why didn't they go for a really macho secretary? If they were going to go down this route, surely you want a really macho secretary, and they hired 4. He can do macho.
That's what I'm saying. He is the macho. He's probably not got the personality of a macho. To be honest, I've only seen like the 2 trailers, and I was like, I'm out. I'm walking away from this train wreck.
Right, I saw the trailer in the IMAX, and the ghost looked awesome in IMAX 3D. And there was one joke in the trailer that made me chuckle a little bit.
Which one was it?
It was where the African American Ghostbuster jumped into the crowd, and nobody caught her, and she just lay there going, "Is this a race thing or a gender thing? Either way, I'm mad as hell." And I'm like, "Huh."
Let's see, that doesn't make much sense, or it is a racist joke anyway. Because previously a large woman did jump into the crowd, so we also know it's not a fat thing or female thing. So then the only thing different is it is a race thing, and that's the biggest joke you had, was that it was a black thing. It's just like, oh, that's awkward.
The most annoying thing I find about...
It was the funniest joke, but it's still kind of awkward. Yeah. Like, that was it.
Oh, no, it was awkward.
Yeah.
Here's my thing about Hollywood, right? I wish they would just... They keep treating us like we're idiots. And, I mean, Inception is the best counter-argument to this. Inception was complicated as all hell. Mm-hmm. And it made loads of money because people were like, that was really good. I'm going back to watch it again and make more sense of it.
Yeah.
But Hollywood are like, well, Ghostbusters was good, but they were all men. So if we make a Ghostbusters with all women, all the women will go and see it. And it's like, no, just focus on making a good Ghostbusters film. And then what's going to happen, and this might shock you, critics will say, new Ghostbusters film was good. Yeah. And everyone will go and see it and tell their mates, hey, new Ghostbusters was good. And then they'll make a boatload of money.
That's like the exact thing that happened with Deadpool. The exact thing happened with Deadpool. Deadpool went... A quite big audience went to see it of the nerd variety, and then it hit the mainstream of, oh, it is actually good. It is different.
Deadpool had an amazing advertising campaign.
It did,
but I think it only like affected us though in this circle. I don't think many people outside of understanding comic books really got the advertising campaigns.
It tricked a lot of girlfriends into seeing it, I'm sure.
It was R-rated comedies, not good business decision. It was an R-rated comedy starring an obscure comic book character that made a boatload of money because it was a really good film.
Yeah.
And Hollywood need to stop trying to tick boxes by having female Ghostbusters or whatever they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. But Deadpool's made a whole new set of boxes to tick.
Just make a good film. Here's the thing, good films, and there are exceptions as always, generally speaking, good films make money. Mm-hmm. If you make a good film and the critics go, oh my god, it's amazing, and the public go, oh my god, it's amazing, it makes loads of money.
That requires effort, and that does not have a lot of pie
charts.
What
I want on my ideas board is a big R, and that's the big thing now, is R-rated, and we're just going to make anything R-rated, and we're just going to have anything we want. Not Team Rocket, no, we're out of Team Rocket, but anything we want with R. That's the big thing now. We need to make something R-rated because we know it works now.
No, it doesn't. R-rated's terrible. R-rated just
so much money. It has to work.
It has to work, Ross. It worked with Deadpool, so R-rated. You get an R-rated Wolverine now, which could work and could very well work. But what else we need is an R-rated Batman versus Superman. That's what we definitely need. Is an extended version.
Girls movie.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Putting a bit of blood and swearing into Batman Superman would have saved that train wreck of a film.
I really want to watch. I mean, to my craziness of like brain melting, is I want to watch the Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice extended edition thing that has recently come out. I'm really interested to see what actually put in to like make it work, because that movie was. I don't know. It might be the old Batman movie from 1989. It might be much better. I have no idea what they've done to it.
You watch that and tell me how it went.
I'm going to have to watch it in like stages and phases because I don't think I could actually sit. You know, I was so bored watching that movie. I watched it in IMAX and I was just like, I don't care. Why is Superman being blamed for guys being riddling terrorists with bullets? This doesn't even make any sense. Why would Superman be the antagonist?
It's kind of like Facebook movie playing the Joker.
I don't understand this movie. This movie makes no sense. And I'm not dumb. I'm thinking fucking smart sometimes. It just the movie didn't make any sense.
But see, what I didn't get is just kind of like, hey, Superman, you stopped those evil alien invaders, and some people died, so it's all your fault. Yeah, because if he'd have just left the alien invaders to destroy our world and get our resources, that would have ended so much better for everyone.
I think taking a few lives and a few buildings would have been better than the whole Earth, which what it was looking like happening was the whole Earth was going to be destroyed. So
the problem with the whole Cadmus thing is it was way too early to even introduce this idea. They needed to give it 2 or 3 more films and more instances oh yeah, Superman does kind of kill a lot of people when he does X, and that would have given us a reason. But it's no, we'll just jump right into it with this one-off instance.
But you had that ridiculous scene at the end where they were like, we have found a completely deserted place to have our final showdown.
Multiple times in that movie they went, luckily no one was in that building. It's nighttime in the business district and no one's working overtime. Thank God.
They went to such great lengths to be like, for the rest of this film, there will be no collateral damage.
But without anyone dying as well, it became like, oh, good. The buildings are being
Batman
destroyed.
Killed, a couple of people.
Batman killed a lot of people. I think they've got Batman and the Punisher confused.
I think it's alternate universe Batman.
Name a name a comic book character who runs around shooting bad guys and killing everyone.
Deadpool.
It sounds very Deadpool.
But also the Punisher.
Blade.
He shoots vampires.
They're not bad guys, are they? They want to suck my blood. That makes them bad to me.
Not cool. I would not want someone to come and suck my blood. That would not make me happy.
Right, so we're talking about movies here, and I need to know, Ross, what, I assume you've watched it, is Independence Day. Have you seen it, the new Independence Day?
I have seen, I saw it in IMAX I saw it on Monday, in fact.
Excellent, right, okay.
Wait,
did you enjoy it?
Can we just appreciate, I went to see it on Monday.
Independence Day, well done.
I went to see Independence Day on Independence Day.
I can beat this slightly. I went to see it on the day of the Brexit vote. Or the Brexit results.
I can beat all of you, and I watched the original Independence Day on Independence Day, and it felt much better, just the overall experience, I'd have to say.
Just to watch the original.
Yeah, exactly. So,
new film, I mean...
Thank
and again,
you.
slight spoiler alert here, and not too much, not going to spoil too much.
We spoke about it last week, I just want someone else's view.
Okay, cool. I mean, essentially, it was fine, but it was a little bit video gamey, as most sequels tend to be nowadays. They kept introducing old characters for the sake of it, and then there was that weird montage where they were like, here's the part of the film where all the old characters die. And there was like a 10-minute scene just killing off all the people from the first film, although half of them then came back to life. And it was just, it was fine. It was enjoyable rubbish. It was exactly what I expected. The original was a good film. The sequel was not a good film. But it was enjoyable rubbish, and it passed the time. But again, I saw it on the IMAX. I saw it in IMAX 3D, which raises it, because it's an action film. So at the very, very least, you're getting big, expansive, big showy things, good 3D effects, big sound system, lots of explosions. If you watched it on your iPad, you would get you would lose an awful lot of what made the film enjoyable. I'm glad I went to see it. But put it this way, I saw Central Intelligence directly before it, and that is a good film.
What's that? I've not heard that one.
That's The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Oh, that comedy, right.
And with a brilliant tagline, to save the world, all he needs a little heart and a big Johnson.
Wow.
Because Kevin Hart's a small man and Dwayne Johnson's a big man. I don't know what you're thinking about.
Oh, okay.
Honestly,
and that film is hilarious. I loved it. It was brilliant. Independence Day, it was fine. It wasn't a bad film, but it wasn't a good film.
And this is my campaign that I want to bring. If you're spending millions upon millions upon millions, and you make something that is okay, was it really worth it? Did you actually try?
My complaint was,
any money.
When I was watching it, was every single thing I saw wrong was wrong because I know they're trying to make a franchise out of this.
Yeah.
And that was the problem, is like, this could have been a better movie, but it won't be because you're trying to make it into something it was not designed to be.
And the point they seem to be missing is, right, the original Independence Day was awesome. It took 20 years to get a sequel because they were focusing on making a darn good film. But yeah, they were totally... And it even ended with, there's more films coming.
It ended with, look, it's that new cast you should love.
Oh, yeah, the new cast as well. Like, we're not getting Jeff Goldblum. And I love the scene where they were like, yeah, Will Smith said no.
I'm more shocked that the actor who plays his dad is in the movie at all.
Bill Paxton?
Yeah, it was like, he did nothing in the film.
No, Bill Paxton's the thingy, the guy,
the old president.
The president. No, we're talking about Jeff. We're talking about Jeff Goldblum's dad,
yeah,
the old Jewish man.
I saw him in something the other day. I can't remember what it was. He has not aged a day.
No.
That's weird. He looks exactly the same as he did in '96. And then he goes and gets a bunch of kids on a bus and drives across country.
Like 30 kids.
He literally abducts some children, apparently.
On a school bus.
Yeah. like any reasonable, responsible adult would.
But see, that's what I mean. It's kind of like, so his dad's in it. Why is his dad in it? There's no reason for his dad to be in that film. He just is. And then it's like, one of the test pilots is the president's daughter. Another one is Will Smith's son. And we're like, we get it. There were characters in the first film.
The third one is the Chinese woman, because we want China to watch this movie too.
Well,
that was so pandering.
It suffered from, again, London blowing up syndrome, where, guess what? You get money if you just mention London or anything to do with the UK in a movie. So it suffered from that. And it's also got Hong Kong. Like, what should we do to get money? Well, if we... Hong Kong and like China's really popular. You know, we're on that Chinese audience. And then London, if we get London in there, we can make money. So let's just get Hong Kong and smash it into London. Just like, perfect, we're going to make tons of money with that idea.
Well, see, the China thing's interesting because China's got really strict rules. There's something like 36 foreign films a year are allowed to be shown in China. Mm-hmm. But it's a huge market with loads of money.
Yeah.
So, like the last Transformers film, they were like, let's go to China. And if you watch, what was it, the Dinobots one?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called. I just called it Transformers and Dinobots because...
That's the
Age of Extinction.
No.
That's the one.
Transformers and Dinobots sounds like actually a really good time. Age of Extinction, not so much.
The best part about it was you see the scenes of the Chinese Politburo, the government of China, and they're all being really competent and decisive. It's so good. But my favourite China cinema story was the remake of Red Dawn. They had China as the enemy. And then someone turned around and went, hang on a second. Okay. We want the Chinese money. And they literally went back into the film and digitally altered all the China flags to North Korea flags, re-recorded a bit of the dialogue, and just in post-production turned North Korea into the enemy, and then sold it to China.
Brilliant.
So good. I'm so happy.
So Ross, I really want to know, what's it like being on stream, being at the centre of attention and talking about Pokemon for like hours on end?
Utterly surreal. I lucked out because we were doing, I can't go into too many details, just, non-disclosure agreements and all of that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I originally got called for the trading card game commentator, and then, there was an opportunity to do Pokken tournament, and I was like, yo, get me on it. And in Germany and Italy, I ended up doing both. And it was so good. I was literally like, in Germany, day one, I did like the first round of TCG. I then got rushed over to do Pokken tournament for like 3 hours solid. Wow. And then rushed back to TCG to do the last 2 rounds. So I had basically 6 hours of being constantly on stream. And it was, and I think, and it wasn't even that close. I think I managed the most on-camera time of all of the commentators. And to be fair, there were brilliant people in Pokemon who were kind of going out of their way to try and sort out the rota so I could do both of them. And it was so good. But the whole experience is very surreal because I watched the Pokemon streams, as I'm sure to a lot of people. Yeah. So you sit down and the ratings card comes up and then it fades out. And then there's commentators there and they're talking. And then you get there and that background you've seen them in front of is there. And then you sit down in the chair and you still see the ratings card, except the rating card's on this little telly. And when the rating card fades away, it's you and you have to start talking about Pokemon. And it was such a strange experience because it's like, if I wasn't here, I would be watching this at home like I'm usually doing it. But the weirdest thing about it was when I got to Italy. And I walked, and we flew over, and it was, nice, comfy flight and all of that. Yeah. And I walked into the hotel, and it was this nice hotel. And I suddenly had this wave of, Pokemon have gone to a lot of effort
to make you feel good.
Me here. And I don't think I'm worth that much effort.
Oh.
Like, they had really gone out of their way and gone to a lot of effort. A lot of people working very hard to get me talking about Pokemon in Germany and Italy and Sweden. And it was just a very surreal experience of... It was very odd, but it was awesome.
I wish our streaming experiences were as good as yours.
Our first year was pretty good.
Yeah, so we commentated Vanguard Nationals for the UK and also the European Championships. Like the first year Vanguard came out, and that, if you knew, Vanguard was like a huge success and had 400 players turn up on first.
People.
I heard rumours of Vanguard being quite good.
Yeah, so we didn't expect that as well, and so
we expected 150.
Yeah, so basically our table that we were supposed to be streaming on, because this wasn't set up by them, it was set up by me and Max.
We went to the can we record? They went sure.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So we got shunted off to this corner. With my PC set up and we started recording. So first year was pretty good. They also had voice actors from the show come on, and we did an interview with them. That was pretty much
the biggest nationals we've had. Not number of players, but for the actual what content. We did as an event.
Yeah, as an event, it was really well done. Second year, we had terrible technical issues, and the room wasn't booked long enough for the event, so we had to move everything, and it was a nightmare. And it pretty much just it was nail in a coffin for the channel that we hosted on. We were just I can't be bothered with this. It's just a nightmare. Just
this was early days. This was 2013, something like that.
I think it might have been even earlier than that. I don't know. Something very close to that anyway.
Yeah. So this is not even Pokemon wasn't really streaming that much at that point.
Yeah, we were the big. This is when only StarCraft, was streaming. MLG was only big. That was the only big streaming thing was when we were doing this. We didn't bother with streaming just because the internet is really iffy just generally. So we just decided just to record everything and then just put it up on YouTube. Card Fight Central, if anyone's interested, we might bring it up. We don't know. We're in discussions, Max and I, about doing stuff with it because we are actually working with Bushy Road at the moment. Well, not at the moment. We were last month. We have
done stuff with them.
So we were actually. I'm sorry, podcast viewers, for telling this story again, but Ross needs to know. So
I need to know.
Yeah, exactly.
To know.
We were at what's it called? UK's
Springfest.
UK Gamescom.
UK Game, yeah.
UK's Game Convention in Birmingham. We're there for 3 days, and we were demoing their new game, Look and Logic, as well as all their previous games as well. And it was a really good time. Got to just meet general people that like gaming in general. It was really fun. Just play cards for a long time. That's the future really for me. I just want to play. Yep, I'll just play my card games just for fun, but for money as well. Just be paid for this.
We had one representative from. I think he's from Singapore. Singapore, is it? I don't know.
Yes. I'm going to say yes, it is.
I don't think it is. I know the other guys are from
Germany.
I don't know if I should even know if I can say the names. I assume I can, but I'm going to play it safe. The other guys from Germany. So they're actual representatives of the company. So you actually get to like talk to them and like find stuff out, and it's really quite cool.
Mm-hmm. Bushy Road's huge. The events they like. The like convention space they sometimes take up in like different countries, especially Singapore. We our convention booth was like probably like the size of my room currently, which is quite spacious. But I can't remember which convention they were in, but it was a big one.
JapanCon in Germany.
But they are huge. Like just for, and then they're not even displaying anything. It's just huge. Wall, just like we're taking up this space, just
like a huge poster, isn't it?
Yeah, and then we have cosplayers as well, and that's it. That's all they do. That's all how they advertise is just that. It's very weird, very different,
and much more proactive than other companies.
That sounds cool.
I think in advertising, but I really want to get them doing streaming. Like
that seems to be the way forward now.
I think it is the way forward for games, and
absolutely, it's getting into the esports. I mean, that Pokemon are trying to turn Pokemon into esports, and
they're doing a good job.
Yeah,
they're doing a good job, and they're putting the effort in, and that's what was awesome about the stream was you can tell they cared. Mm-hmm. They had Pokemon employees there who cared about doing a good stream. And they've gone to a great deal of effort to try and find, I'm taking myself out of this, but you look at the other commentators, and they were all really, really good, and they found good people. Mm-hmm. People who were standing in the community, and some people who were slightly, there were a couple of people there who were really well known by the community, and then there were a couple other people who were not quite as well known, but were clearly really good at what they did. Mm-hmm. And, they'd gone to a lot of effort, and they'd really gone for it with the stream, and the production values were quite high, and they'd clearly gone to a whole bunch of effort, and it was just really good to see. I mean, what I hope, and I don't have any inside information, but I just hope it keeps going. I mean, you saw the European streams, I think were awesome. But then you see the US streams, and they clearly knocked it up another notch.
The US streams reminded me of how the old Magic used to be, where you had your few seats that you had, and they were custom-made tables.
Yes. And
you had the cameras, or like lots of cameras focusing on different areas of the table, and it was amazing. This is like the Magic team sort of thing. It reminded me of where you had like the multiple tables set up there. You could actually switch between games quite quickly as well. Yeah. But I was really impressed with the US Nationals. They set up a new level that I wasn't expecting at all.
I just hope it keeps going.
Though.
And you're right.
Yeah, so go on.
I was going to say, you're right, it keeps escalating. I mean, I hope they keep doing it with Pokken Tournament as well, and TCG and VG, because it's just good. And one of the things, I was ranting about this on my podcast, PTCG Radio.
Oh, it's about to plug you later, but if you really want to do it now, that's fine.
No, I'll do the plugs later as well, but while I'm mentioning it. And you get all these people that are just like, this one little element of the stream was annoying, or 1,100 people turned up to US Nats, and a whole bunch of people that didn't pre-register like they were told to got turned away. And you're like, so what you're saying is you're upset because our game is really healthy and going to carry on for years to come. Yeah, what a terrible situation we're in.
Yeah, I was reading
about that or Round Zero, so choose your poison.
I found it amusing that the complaints, some that I read, were just about things that were out of Pokemon's control entirely, like the venue and the price of food. I'm like, what are you expecting here?
I think there's amazing Pokemon Center in it. We'd be killed to have that kind of stuff over here.
It was, I mean, all of the ones. I mean, in Germany and Italy, the venues were just ridiculous. Like, the venues they'd actually gotten were crazy. In Germany, it was like this big, like, grand old opera house, it looked like, with giant Arceus banners hanging from the front, which clashed a little bit with the classic architecture, but I thought it was awesome. And these giant ceilinged halls, and it was just, they'd gone to so much effort for these national championships, and it's just, this is what everybody wants. Like 5 years ago, If everyone had been like, yes, in 5 years' time, Nationals is going to be like this, and the streams, and look at everyone would be like, oh my god, can we have that now?
Yeah.
But now and it's just the negativity really grinds me down, because it's just like, what more do you want? They are going to so much effort. Because people go, oh, they've taken away our paid trip from Nationals. Yes, they have. And they've given 22 paid trips for Europe. As a total, we get paid trips now more than we used to.
Oh, okay.
But now the winner of Nationals doesn't get a paid trip. Okay. But it's just something to moan about.
Mm.
And this is what we just want, and maybe it's just me. I just want the game to be healthy. I want the game to keep going on. I want to attend tournaments. I'd like it if the stream carried on and I kept getting invited back. That would be awesome. And I just want it to carry on. That's all I'm after. And all these people making these ridiculous things. Was it, I want to say World of Warcraft that closed down 2-3 years ago?
So probably 4 years ago now.
And there was just posts on Facebook of just, it's closing down. We're not making any new sets. There's going to be no more sanctioned play. Gutted.
Mm.
I don't want that to happen to Pokemon. And everything Pokemon are doing at the moment, throwing all these ideas and money at it and really improving the game and getting higher attendance than they've ever had before just means that the game's going to keep going. Yeah. And that's awesome.
I can't see Pokemon's attendance going down anytime soon, really.
To be honest, I think Nintendo's backbone at the moment is literally Pokemon at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Well, did you see what the turnover for the Pokemon Company International was last financial year?
No. God, I couldn't imagine.
Go on.
2 billion.
2 billion?
Well, that's turnover, not revenue, but it's still... And bearing in mind, this year, you've got all the 20th anniversary celebrations, which is marketing coming out the wazoo, and, Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
So
and Pokken as well, Pokken, which they
and
did
Pokemon
push.
Go.
And Pokemon Go, but I don't think Pokemon Go is
fair,
going to be, like, a big money thing for them.
Well, I mean, my favourite... to keep going on to different things, you got Street Fighter V, established franchise released on PlayStation 4 and PC. Mm-hmm. You've got Pokken Tournament, new fighting game with the Pokemon brand, only released on Wii U, which everybody knows is a distant third in the console race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pokken Tournament is massively outselling Street Fighter V. And it's not that close.
Really?
Yeah. It was a story doing around. I do way too much reading of stuff like this. And it's not even that, it's been massively outselling it because it's got the Pokemon name. So you add in Pokken Tournament and you add in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and you look at, and all of these are on news stories I've read, it's all out there.
Yeah.
You take the 2 billion they turned over last year, you add in things like Pokemon Tournament, Sun and Moon, etc., etc., you can't imagine their turnover is going to be less this year.
Oh no, I think it's going to be huge this year.
They're turning over 2 billion a year. You're talking about one healthy company.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yes.
And that's just good. And then Pokemon Go comes out, and the server's being down's a bit of a pain, but I'm not paying for Pokemon Go. I'm just enjoying playing it.
It's licensed to another company anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I think they've done their bit, Nintendo, really.
Nintendo have nothing to do with Pokemon Go, have they?
Well,
they've licensed another company to make it.
Yeah,
but I'm assuming, most of these kind of contracts have the standard, you get to use our IP, we essentially get final say.
Mm.
So, so you come present the product to us before we sign it off, and then they get to kind of, I'm assuming the contract gives them a right to go and say, we don't like this, or we think you should implement this, or things of that nature. I would imagine that's the kind of standard thing.
As a Pokemon the size of a company like Pokemon, I assume they'd have to because of the amount of control they'd actually need for a product like that.
It's the brand image. It's kind of Pokemon is right up there with Disney in its brand image. It's got to be child friendly. You cannot hurt the brand image, because the second you destroy that brand image and parents start going, no, it's over.
Yeah, no one's going to buy the games or the cards anymore, and it just dies.
And that's where the money comes from. Players like us who go and buy single cards off these websites and go to tournaments. We don't make Pokemon any money. It's the kids in Toys R Us.
You buy the video games.
Well, the games make the money. But in terms of the card game, it's the kids going, hey, mummy, can I have a pack of cards? Although, to be fair, I bought Pokken Tournament for myself, and then shortly afterwards it was my brother's birthday. Take a wild guess what I got my brother for his birthday.
Pokken Tournament.
Yokai Watch.
I got him Pokken Tournament. I kind of had to.
Close.
There was an element of it like, hey, so I've just come back from streaming Pokken Tournament in Germany. I got you Pokken Tournament for your birthday. Like, there's a part of it that looks like I'm just trying a little bit too hard.
Something. It also looks like I got this free, so I'm just offloading it to you and using it as a birthday present. There you go.
I wish I'd got it for free. No, unfortunately, they made me pay.
What's your main in Pokken, sorry?
Well, it was Chandelier. And the thing is...
The
the thing about Chandelier is, there's kind of two levels of Chandelier. Level 1 is, and I can beat the computer on hard every time with Chandelier, throwing in a bunch of perfects, because they're not so good at getting around the projectiles. And I went online, and in my first 22 online battles, I won 19. And the two of the 3 I lost were to spammers, and I should have known better. So I should have been 22 out of 23.
Yeah.
But the problem is, now I play half-decent people. And they get around the projectiles and I get destroyed.
Yeah, as long as you know how to dash cancel, you can just go through them.
Dash cancel's rubbish because you've got the counter piercing attack. His beam projectile counter pierces.
So that's what I meant.
Anyone who dash cancels, well, that'll work for the regular projectiles, but his beam does counter pierce. I'm learning way too much about Pokken Tournament. But the problem is, there's just other ways to get in, and as soon as they do, you're completely out of it. And he's rubbish up close. You can work it, but it's not good. So I decided to go Garchomp, and Garchomp is the exact opposite. Garchomp has no ranged game, and I'm bad as Garchomp. I'll do things like dig or attack into a block, leave myself vulnerable to a grab, and it's all gone wrong. So I've started this past week. I've moved on to Gardevoir. I think I can get on board with Gardevoir. Because Gardevoir has got some good ranged attacks, but she's got some quite good close attacks. She's got her down weak attack, which just kind of slides in, which is really good for catching people off guard. She has got a guard breaking attack, but it's so slow, I don't think you'll ever get it off against a good player. But then she's got things like forward and strong attack, just puts them up in the air, and you can get quite a lot of damage from a juggling combo.
Yeah.
If you finish it off, if you can get a couple of Calm Minds off to store a bunch of power, you can do a bit of a juggling combo, finish it with stored power, and then it's not called store. No, it is Calm Mind and store power, and then you can do a lot of damage while knocking them into field phase, and then you're back with projectiles. But she's got a greater range of projectiles than Chandelure has, and I think it's easier to work them. So I'm trying with Gardevoir, because, put it this way, I streamed 3 Pokken Tournament events. And I'm not exaggerating, the only 2 characters I did not commentate were Chandelure and Garchomp. The only 2. There was actually one Chandelure that made it onto the stream in Sweden when I wasn't commentating.
Oh.
It was very upsetting.
I think people have just shied away from Chandelure after they've known how to beat it, how to play against it. That's
a lot of Americans are playing Chandelure, but I think Chandelure's quite... It doesn't have as many layers. When they get in close, you've got Overheat, and Overheat is amazing.
Amazing, I know.
But then it makes you really weak, and it's just Overheat. It's just once. It's not enough to win the game. And people are generally going for... I mean, Blaziken, it's generally considered... I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the top 5, we basically got Mewtwo, Shadow Mewtwo, Sceptile, Suicune, Blaziken, Gardevoir. They're like the 6 that people tend to be playing. Yeah. And they've all got a bit more to them. Shadow Mewtwo and Mewtwo are borderline broken, which is why Mewtwo drains his HP using special moves. Sorry, Shadow Mewtwo. Yeah. And Mewtwo drains his synergy gauge, so you hardly ever get synergy burst off. Yeah. Gardevoir's a bit weak, but is quite an even character. Same weak thing with Suicune and Sceptile. And Blaziken is well good when you get in close and combo, but you've got to work in. But he's borderline broken when you get in doing the combos. So they've all got their kind of things. And like Chandelure and Garchomp, you look at them in comparison, they're not as good. They just aren't as good. Garchomp has nothing at range, and Dig is so easily countered by good players, it's not even funny.
Yeah. What's your decision on Charizard?
Ooh.
I don't like it, but people disagree with me.
I fucking love him. Charizard's amazing, man.
Look at the online rankings. A lot of people are using Charizard. There's a European dude called Shiggy who came out in he came second at German Nationals with Charizard. Mm-hmm. It's actually annoying that in German Nationals, first place got a paid invite. He came second. At Italian Nationals, he couldn't make it. At British Nationals, top 2 got a paid invite. He came third. Mm-hmm. And in DreamHack, top 2 got a paid invite. He came third. So at every tournament he came through, he was one space away from a paid invite.
Burn.
But he's really good with Charizard, and he's not the only one. So Charizard's a power character. He's very straightforeward.
Oh yeah,
that's
definitely.
The guy, you have to watch this guy's vids now and learn how to play Charizard properly.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I got a few combos down because I used to play. I played in a tournament. You know when Street Pass were doing their tournament thing.
Oh,
in the UK.
not there, no, but
that's when it came. Like on the first few weeks, the Street Pass did like a load of tournaments. So I came third in about 16. So it's not really that many. But I felt competent enough just to play Charizard. Yeah. They banned Mewtwo, which is my actual main that I actually have both amiibos. Hey. They are my characters that I usually play because Mewtwo's just got this so many different arrays of stuff that he can just do and I'm just going Hyper Beam, just there you go. If
rubbish.
No, it's amazing. If you catch some of the stuff, it's amazing. It forces. Nah, I'm gonna have to trust you. Because you've commentated, but
here's my thing.
No. You, if you're thinking Hyper Beam,
so listen to the expert.
Okay. Right. No, don't get me wrong. Hyper Beam's a good attack. It's really unsafe. I'm trying to use a fighting game lingo. Unsafe is the word you use.
Oh no, I know. I get that. I'm just saying it just pierces through anything that they were going to.
It counter pierces, but it doesn't go through guard. So, for instance, the first, I told you I lost to 2 spammers online.
Yeah.
The first spammer was a guy who, he just used Focus Blast and Mewtwo over and over again. Jumped in the air, Focus Blast, and it frustrated me, because the second that game ended, I was just like, Chandeler's got an air projectile which does loads of damage. Incinerate. So I came across another Mewtwo a couple games later, jumps up to use Focus Sash, Incinerate. Jumps up to use Focus Sash, Incinerate. Just over and over again, until he got bored, and then decided to use Hyper Beam. So I'd block it, and then he's sitting there recovering, so you use the beam attack, which you are guaranteed to hit, because they can't block because they're recovering from Hyper Beam.
Oh yeah, it is unsafe, I understand that, but then again, why are you trying to Hyper Beam Chandelure? That seems really, really weird, a really weird thing to do. No,
it doesn't work, it's a normal type attack. It goes right through it.
Exactly.
But I see that Garchomp's dig, and I'm terrible with this. 90% of the time when I play Garchomp, I dig, they block, I come up from dig, it gets blocked, and they grab me.
Yeah, you can just do the opposite thing of come out early with dig, and then just grab them.
But the problem is, if you come out early, you're still vulnerable while you're coming out, so you've got to come out.
Is it that slow? I see, I've not played absolute ages.
If you play against somebody good, they will grab you every single time.
Right, okay.
Every single time. But it's the same thing with Suicune's Blizzard attack. I played against some guy online who was just spamming Blizzard, and every time he used Blizzard, I'd just dash under him and combo him the second he landed. And I think I perfected in one game and did quite a lot. And I wasn't even playing particularly well. It's just, he was just using Blizzard. And it's just, well, brilliant. Well, now you're in the air, and I've got loads of time to position myself, so when you fall and you're vulnerable for a few frames, I can destroy you. The thing is, listening to me talk now, you'd probably think I'm quite good at the game. I'm not. I am terrible.
We know what you're talking about.
Yeah, at least that's the important thing of any game. If you know what you're talking about, it makes you look good no matter what, and you can blame something else.
See, that's the thing. If you want to be good at a fighting game, you pick a character, and you sit and you grind over, and you play hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fights with the same character, trying to perfect little things, and you get to the point where, I want to use this move, and you instinctively know the exact maximum distance from which you can start this move, so you hit instead of missing and leaving yourself vulnerable. But the problem is, I have to try and learn all 16 characters, and every little tiny gameplay thing. So whereas one person can just go, oh, when somebody uses this move, I can do this and it will work, I have to be able to explain why it works.
Yeah, okay.
So it's very frustrating.
Fair.
Because I don't... And in theory, I am never going to enter a Pokken tournament qualifier. Because I'm hoping that every qualifier is streamed.
And then you're there. Yeah, you're the guy.
There were 4 this year. I streamed 3 of them, and the other one I was at my brother's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably enough on Pokken tournament from me.
I think that's enough on Pokemon generally. I think I knew this Pokemon... sorry, I was about to say this Pokemon podcast, but I know this podcast was going to be Pokemon.
Turn into it slowly.
Oh, yeah. It's been Maxon's dream. I've been... For every week, I've been like trying to curve Maxon off Pokemon. Just like, stop talking about it, Max. The Pokemon guide's going to be coming soon. We can talk about Pokemon all to your heart's desire then.
Well, see, I know you two as Pokemon guys. I met you at Pokemon tournaments, and most of our conversations have been Pokemon related, so I knew how this was going to go, and I was fine with it.
Oh, yeah, I knew it was going to go fine like this anyway. But, yeah, me and Max actually... I know, did we... We used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! First, didn't we?
I can't agree with that.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Was, like, the first, like, major card game that actually, like, took the UK by storm, so...
It was the first popular one.
Yeah, I'd say.
Pokemon always existed, but Pokemon didn't have, like, an actual scene.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Not
Yu-Gi-Oh!
at all.
Kind of really?
Well, I mean, it had a scene, but it was small. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was way bigger than Pokemon. Pokemon is growing, and Pokemon is awesome, but there was... When I started playing Pokemon, the scene wasn't that huge.
No,
you know, you could find league challenges with 10 people in.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you go to the most backwater league challenge in the UK, you'll find 30 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like, what, 2002?
2010 is when I started playing.
So I
even
actually
then,
started in 2007. I just missed the Nationals, and I what's it called? Majestic Dawn came out, and I did the pre-release, and I got a Leafeon level X. I was like, yes, this is an amazing
That's
card.
a good card.
I was like, I'm going to build this deck. So it was like Sectile, Tangle Growth, and the Leafeon level X. And it was amazing because Tangle Growth doubled all my energy. I got extra energy attachments with the Leafeon level X. And you could just charge and build up the Tangle Growth. And Tangle Growth could snipe stuff. So you just basically build an anti-Claydol just for like the last few prizes. Just like pick off the Claydolls. It was amazing.
Good times.
I really enjoyed those times. But now it's too big and there's EXs. And I look at the game constantly like,
I still love it. I'm still in.
I mean,
all the way in.
With the rotation that has been announced, maybe I'll actually give it a second chance.
It destroys all the good decks. Like
Exactly.
every good deck is being ripped apart. It's so good.
I've just had this hatred for Night March. Like, especially when like every pack they gained more toys. And it's just like, why are you giving it more stuff? What is the problem? Why are you doing this?
US Nationals had a top 64 cut. 25 of them were Night March. The next best represented one was Trevenant that had 6. So it wasn't even close. Very upsetting. But I'm afraid I'm gonna have to leave you in a couple of minutes.
I think
boys.
we were actually going to leave and finish the podcast because this is a pretty good segue. So, Ross, where can people find you?
People can find me in a number of places. You can find me on Twitter @TheWassy. Not Wassy, that's Jonathan Ross. Every so often somebody properly famous follows me and I get really excited until they realise I'm not Jonathan Ross. I'm a Pokemon nerd. But more importantly, you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/PTCG Radio. It's very easy to find. I have a vanity URL. I was so happy when that happened.
Soon we'll get ours, Max, don't worry.
That was the they're the 2 main ways to find me. They're the ones I want people to check out.
Awesome. Well, you've been a fantastic guest. It's
Thank you
been
very much
fun
for having me.
talking Pokemon to you without like being interrupted by other guests and other casters that don't know anything about Pokemon. So it was actually fun and interesting. Exactly. Thanks very much for having us. And we'll see you guys later. Say goodbye, Max.
Bye.
Yeah, you say goodbye, Max.